Yeah, like so another cool piece of news this week, and I thought it was quite interesting. Following the footsteps of Aerosmith, Iron Maiden, and Kiss, the alternative rock band Radiohead have made their own video game. Well, kinda. So, in collaboration with Epic Games Studios, Radiohead is releasing a virtual exhibition as a companion piece to their new reissued albums Kid A and Amnesiac, both coming from 2000 and 2001, very seminal albums of that era.
Grew
The
up on that,
albums
yep.
were originally planned as double album release. The exhibition was developed by studios Square Brackets, Name the Machine, and Arbitrary Good Productions.
I just want to make a small amendment to that. It's square brackets, name the machine, close square brackets.
Oh, okay. So, okay, we're going to do this, are we? I believe that you would call it Square Brackets, Name the Machine. Because whenever you
okay.
deal with in law or in contracts or putting a placeholder, when you talk to people about it, you always say in terms of square brackets, placeholder name. So I will challenge you, and I believe the proper pronunciation of this studio, his name is square brackets, name the machine.
As the most literate of all of us, with certain
not
degrees.
You, obviously, we're talking.
Obviously not me. Swinny. No, I mean Swinny. Swinny as the most literate one amongst us. How would this be pronounced?
I would personally, unless they, and I'm going on their website right now. Unless
exciting.
they go out of their way to say you pronounce anything. Whoa, it's got an autoplay music. I would just call it Name the Machine.
Oh wow. Okay,
so we've got three versions.
Yeah. And not like Neko Works the other day when specifically on their website they said Neko.works, you pronounce the dot.
That's true.
Okay.
That's
bracket,
true.
Name
This
the machine.
mod's really
bracket.
cool, this Name the Machine. I'm just on here and they work with like David Gilmour.
Cool.
They've done like
awesome.
stuff like with Lady Gaga. Like
I'm glad we went
cool.
onto this tangent. This is really cool actually to find
Yeah,
out.
no, like and this thing, we haven't really got into what it is yet, but it looks awesome.
Well, I was going to go into it. So it's coming out on PlayStation 5 and Epic Games Store as a free download on November the 18th. So I will be getting it anyway, as I always do on Epic. Described as a favored dream space, an edifice built from the art and creatures, words and recordings of the albums, reassembled and given new mutant life. End quote. It's awesome. Another quote. The original recordings of Kid A and Amnesiac are scattered and reformed, in a series of impossible and possible spaces populated by equally impossible or possible creatures, surrounded by the art of Stanley Donwood and Tom York. That's actually a bloody tongue twister, that quote.
It's that quote, like Radiohead have proven themselves, right? But that is one of the most like artsy fartsy bloody pretentious bullshit. But they've proven themselves where it's like, okay, if you've gone out of way, like your tools and stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you can kind of get away with it.
I think that Radiohead and Tool are extremely wanky and pretentious. Having said that, I love their music to death. So it's kind of like, do whatever, dude. Like, you make amazing stuff.
Absolutely, they've got a free ticket for this. But Tool had the really cool album, the one that actually came with
like all their albums, pretty much. Like when you say
all
that,
albums, but I mean, this particular album was the one that came with the screen, so you could play parts of it. You saw that, yeah? Like you open the album up, and it's actually got an LCD screen in it.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was.
You watch the latest one.
It's the latest one, yeah. It's the latest one. I have a copy of it, but I bloody forget the name.
You
of
have
it
that.
I have
Why do
that,
you have that?
Because
it costs like $100 something, $150.
I don't remember how much it was, but I thought it was a really cool album. And in terms of a product innovation, I thought it was brilliant. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Having that as an idea. And then Radiohead also, if I remember correctly, a few years back, they did the first "You Pay Us Whatever You Want" for the album.
Yeah, and I paid them $0
again, and you paid them $0 because I don't even remember what I did, if I still have it. But I think that stuff is really cool innovation, and it's good that they're in a position where they can, I guess, afford to experiment and do that kind of stuff. And I grew up when Radiohead. It grew up as in my uni days were filled with Radiohead, And this thing's freaking awesome. I love the idea of it. So can't wait to try it out.
I have a confession. I've heard pretty much everything off Kid A, and I'd say 80% of what's on Amnesiac. I've never listened to the albums from start to finish.
Really?
Okay.
Never.
What?
Because the thing is, right, when it came out at the time, for some reason I just I just didn't get around to it, but they just blasted your Triple J's and that, all the stuff off Kid A especially. And like when you get to Amnesia, you got your Knives Out and Pyramid Song and all that stuff, and it's like I've heard all those songs so much, but I've never sat down and listened back to start to finish. So I'm like, maybe this will be interesting to experience this stuff for the first time.
You won't see it in order either. Because this sounds like it's randomized as well. So
well,
it'll be the same
experience. That's what I'm like interesting as a first time listener, technically, of the full albums. I'm like, oh, maybe that'll be a weird way to listen to it.
And quick shout out to JYKW2606 dabbing in the YouTube live stream chat.
Hello.
Yeah, so my biggest thing, I've heard Kid A and Amnesiac, more Amnesiac actually, back to front, like millions of times over. My thing was, should I listen to them this week, or should I just go in? Like, I know these albums back to front, right? But I'm almost like, should I just let the kind of the freshness of it hit me playing this experience versus like listening to the album again and then playing the experience? Thoughts?
Well, I think if you know these albums back to front, I would probably stop listening to them in reverse and actually maybe listen to them the way they're supposed to be listened to.
I did say I know them back to front. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I will refresh myself. I actually haven't heard the albums front to back for quite a while now, properly. It's the same as you, Swinny. I've heard tracks since then, randomly, in playlists and whatnot that I have on Spotify, but not the full thing. And I think I want that, especially if the experience itself isn't in that flow.
So any last word on this before we move on to your sections?
Last word is let's get on to the game.
I knew you weren't gonna answer my question. I knew it. You're like, do what you want. That was gonna be your answer. All right, let's go into the next game.